your team to the rest of our listeners for the interruptions in terms of the network that you guys are facing. But thanks for the opportunity, and without wasting time, I promise to manage time. You're able to share my screen on your side as suggested area, or you are having issues? You won't be able to share.
Can
you hear me, Samir?
Yes, please. I can hear you now.
I was asking, are you able to share my screen on your side? To share the screen on your side, my presentation?
Okay, sure. Let me do that.
Okay. So while you are doing that, I want to say a warm welcome to all our listeners and young people across the continent of Africa. This is a great opportunity for us to engage as young people and also to learn from the wisdom of those from our elders and our mentors, as well as different leaders and businesses across our continent and beyond. If you've just joined us, my name is Oliver Fortune Chikozore. I'm the CEO and the founder of the African Innovation and Entrepreneurship Center. So while Samuel is looking for my presentation, I shall start. And then also I will suggest that after you guys share your email addresses with Samuel, so that you will get the full presentation slides of my topic today after this session. So I will start with my topic today. I wanted to focus on doing business in Africa for not just young entrepreneurs, but for entrepreneurs and leaders across Africa. And one of the things that I'm going to do also after this webinar is to share with you guys one of my articles called Authentic Leadership. I think that will be a great contribution, but also add to the knowledge of most of you with regards to what is authentic leadership. So on my first slide, I wanted to talk about I Dare to Dream. So I was born, I always say born in Zimbabwe, but made in Africa. So I was born in Zimbabwe by my parents. My father is Zimbabwean, my mother is South African. And I was born from a very, very disadvantaged or poor setting. Community. I think I wear my first pair of shoes when I was in grade 7. So I always wanted to overcome poverty and to overcome challenges. So I dared to dream. I still remember I used to work, help my mother to sell on the market to be able to raise funds to send us to school. So I had a dream, and I dared to dream because I wanted to overcome challenges. And I wanted to better the lives, not just of myself, but living a life of value for myself and the greater continent of Africa. So I wrote my first book called The African Hidden Potential in the midst to try and share my knowledge and experience to inspire young people across the continent, because I'm also a young person who was raised in a poor setting, but I managed to overcome challenges for myself and for others. So I wanted to inspire that it doesn't matter where you come from as a young entrepreneur, a young leader, or young person. It doesn't matter where you come from, but you can be able, if you have a dream, you can be able to make a difference in a small way for your continent. So I started with my African journey. So I did quite a lot of work across the continent. I did Nigeria, Ghana. I also did Togo a lot, and I work in Kenya. I've done Zimbabwe. I've done South Africa, where I'm based, and I've done a number of African countries. I've worked in these countries, and one thing that I've learned in doing business in Africa or in these different settings, there are different local dynamics that you as a young person or you as an entrepreneur or you should understand. For example, we just experienced a couple of minutes ago that this is like a Ghanaian culture that before a business meeting is started, we pray. And before the meeting ends, we also pray, which is something different with maybe South Africa or Kenya or North Africa. So there are different local dynamics that one needs to understand and to learn. African continent is we have different and diverse cultures. So one needs to start the local culture where you want to do your business as an entrepreneur or as a leader. One of the other, I think, what we have learned from this pandemic of COVID-19 is that we need to have critical thinking, but we also need to be able to form partnerships and collaboration in addressing the issues that the African continent is facing. I think African is endowed with many resources, but the challenge is that we are working in silos. But by coming together, collaborating, we can be able to help each other to address the issues that the continent is facing and to help each other, sharing of knowledge, creating a market among ourselves, but also building the hashtag Africa that we want. So exporting, licensing, partnerships, as I just mentioned, are very crucial to Africa's development. So I did some research on doing business in Africa. I did this about last year in terms of ease of doing business in Africa. So there's only a couple of countries that most countries, they are under 50% and challenges in terms of electricity. So Africa is a big challenge in terms of electricity. That's why we need to come up with renewable energy projects that will be able to help unleash the potential that the continent offers. And in many countries, such as DRC, Congo, and other countries like Chad, I think most of the investors are afraid to invest in these countries because we consider them as red zone and high risk investing in those countries. But I think with coming up with great initiatives and partnerships, we can be able to address these challenges and build a life of value and build wealth and intra-Africa trade in a way that will increase economic development for our continent. I'm inspired by the words of our former president, South Africa, President Thabo Mbeki, who mentioned that Africa, we need to define ourselves and our time is now. It's time for us now to assume that full control so that we can be able to build hashtag Africa that we want. If I look at the Forbes richest list, we found out that I think we got about most of our Forbes richest businesses in Africa. Most of them are founders. These were people that founded their own businesses as entrepreneurs from scratch. And I think it's an opportunity for us also to be able to be inspired as young people to build multinationals businesses. Some of them, I mean, they had, like if you look at Mohamed Nasser, who I think is worth about $2.3 billion from Egypt. His business was more funded by family wealth. We have Koos Bekker, who is a South African. He's a founder. Most of you know the Nigerian richest man, Aliko Dangote. He was also a founder. So most of these Forbes richest list of Africa, they were founders who founded businesses. So they did not just complain about unemployment across the continent, but they created businesses that helps in creating jobs as well as wealth for the economy. So we need to inspire more entrepreneurs or more young people to become entrepreneurs in a way that by doing so, we will be able to create the much needed jobs that the continent is lacking, but also wealth for the African continent. What is a profile of an African entrepreneur? So a profile of an African entrepreneur is divided into four. The first one is somebody that is educated and worked in a developed nation. So you get most Africans that travel to USA, Canada, Europe, Asia, they went there to start or to look for a job, and then they gain more skills in these developed nations, and they come to Africa and start businesses. And the second one is homegrown, started at an early age. Like myself, I think I'm a combination of both, because homegrown, my mother taught me to do business from selling in the street when I was in primary school. So that's how I learned about money and entrepreneurship. Number three is that the profile of an African entrepreneur is driven into business by poverty. I mean, I'm also a combination of that because, as I say, I wear my first pair of shoes when I was in grade 7. And my friends always joke with me. They say, why is it your feet are flat? But I was driven also by poverty because I wanted to overcome poverty, but also to inspire and help others to be able to better their conditions and the conditions of the greater continent. Then the last profile of an African entrepreneur is one that tries multiple innovations and in parallel. So it's somebody that is an innovator who is creative, but who tries different multiple innovations. Okay, and what are some of the, I believe in value addition, and what are some of the value of small, medium to enterprise or entrepreneurs across the continent and the entire world? So one of the values that an entrepreneur starts a new venture. By starting a new venture, you are creating a job, creating jobs, but also wealth, and you are helping in solving problems. The second value for small business or entrepreneurs is invention and innovation of new ideas. So entrepreneurs come up with innovation and new ideas that will help us to solve the challenge that societies or the continent is facing. As I mentioned earlier, that also the value of an entrepreneur is providing employment for more people, creating jobs across the entire continent and beyond, and also economic development. I am an economist by profession, and we define economic growth into 3 key variables. One is the labor force, the quality and the quantity of the labor force, and also productivity, how we can be able to have productivity as a country, and then also so that we can be able to create economic development and economic wealth for the entire continent and beyond. So also small businesses and businesses, they contribute to the GDP of the country because the government can tax. I think in 2020, UK had 62% of employment was created by small business, and 25% of their gross domestic product was created by small businesses. We also go to China. China, small businesses produce about 60% employment, and 80% of their GDP come from small businesses. Then we also have countries such as Nigeria. Up to 70% employment creation was done by small businesses, and their GDP, almost 50%, was also created by small businesses. Uganda itself had 90% of employment created by small businesses, and GDP 18% created by small businesses. We also have Kenya, Ghana, and South Africa that also had up to 80% and 60% employment created by small businesses, as well as GDP created by small businesses. Okay, to win the hearts of people, we need to be willing to go beyond just a business transaction, but help solve their problems. So if you look at big companies such as Google, Netflix, Amazon, and Uber, they were not just driven by money. I know young people, sometimes we are aggressive, we are not disciplined because we think our ideas are great and we are driven by money. It's good to be driven by money, but I think I always suggest that you need to be driven by value addition first before you can be driven by money. And also to be passionate in solving problems. So if we look at Uber, these startups are not from Africa, but they come up with ideas that will solve problems of transport. So to win, the people to go beyond just a transaction, but build meaningful partnerships and meaningful relationships that will go beyond just a transaction. So I'm almost done. So these are some of my takeouts that I've learned in Africa. I always say, as I mentioned earlier, that take the time to learn the local culture. This is very important because very, very negative, but you need to be aware of the unconscious biasness. Trust in Africa is hard-earned, and establish relationships by spending time on ground. It's very, very, there's a deficit across the continent. That's why most investors are a little bit skeptical in investing in our continent because of trust deficit. And it's really hard-earned, and we need to establish those meaningful relationships. Also, Africa have got the highest dependence ratio, both young and old. So as an entrepreneur or as a young leader, we need to think long-term. We need to think long-term and start a savings plan. Our parents didn't have this, but we need to do that. And most people also in Africa retire with no savings. And so one needs to think about solutions that develop communities. We also underestimate our African expertise. So understanding the local knowledge is power, the local dynamics is power. So it's very, very important to understand the local dynamics. Find your space to make a difference and create a positive impact. This is very, very important. That as young people, we need to find a space to make a difference and create a positive impact. So there's a huge need or a big need for entrepreneurship to be able to reduce the financial burden that we have as a continent. There's some few lessons, this is my last slide, that we can learn from most of the African founders. For Reggie Alakija said that don't take no for an answer, you need to go the extra by making sacrifices. This is one of the quotes from one of the founders in Africa. The second one was from Aliko Dangote, who said the only way for Africa to prosper is for us Africans to lead. And when we lead as Africans, the foreigners will see what we are doing and join us. Very, very important. Great quote from Aliko Dangote. And number three is it's in your business interest as an entrepreneur to form meaningful partnerships. That's how you do well for your shareholders. This is South African businessman, Patrice Motsepe. So again, mentioned a lot about meaningful partnerships and collaboration. This is key to your business as a young entrepreneur. The last one is build purpose into your business beyond making money, even as you make money. So build a purpose into your business beyond making money, even as you make money. This is the last quote from Strive Masiyiwa, one of the African founders in business. So before I round up, I want to say thank you so much for listening. I will be available for question and answer for more information. But my last comment is that if we look at African leaders and the African government, I think we don't really support entrepreneurship much. And what can we do as young people to be able to redeem ourselves from this? I think we need to become active citizens. And as young entrepreneurs and leaders, we need to take no for an answer. And never take no for an answer as an entrepreneur. And this is very, very important. So thank you so much for your time. I'll be available for question and answer. If you need more information, I'll also post a list to upcoming events. And I would like more young people to join. and young people, all of you, I invite you to join Africa Women in Trade Group so that we can be able to bring the necessary support that you may need in terms of skills, access to markets, investments, and many more opportunities that can help you elevate yourself to the next level. I thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Oliver, for such a great insight and opportunity for us to be well equipped. Thank you very much. So now we will take some questions.
Okay.
We'll take some questions in the comment section and facilitate them so that you can answer them and clear any doubts. We'll take any contributions as well.
Okay.
Yes.
So you can read the questions and then I'll be able to respond.
Yeah, sure. So please, anyone with any question can just type in the comment section and it will be addressed to the speaker. Any contributions as well is welcome.
Just to make a contribution while they are still thinking of questions is that I think one of the questions that always arises is, I mean, there are so many events, webinars that are happening, but most of them, they're not really addressing the issues on the ground. So I think is that what's the way forward from now? So in order for you to get the necessary support you may need, please reach the organizers so that we can be able to bring the support that we need to be able to create the hashtag Africa that we want. And also we need to be part of the community. By coming together, we can create a market among ourselves and help each other in sharing of knowledge and resources to create hashtag Africa we want. So I think there seems to be aligned. I don't know if there are any questions. I can't see if there are any questions. Let me just check from the side.
Okay, so I think you have said enough and everybody seems quite satisfied. Because I don't see
I can
anything
see here. Yeah. There's a question here. It was said that we should, as young leaders, focus on long-term plans. I want to ask if there is a standard of years that defines long-term. Okay, so this one is a good one because I don't know who asked this one. It's anonymous. I don't know. It's Kofi. So as young people, I mean, I think for me, is the first thing is you need to be driven by purpose and passion, not money. That's the very first thing. And don't be discouraged when you face struggles and challenges because, and then when you see some of us driving nice cars, don't worry about that because, I mean, we work, we do a lot of sacrifices. But as a young person, the first thing is to understand who do you want to be and how do you want to make your money. That's your first move. Understanding your first 5 moves is very important, but understanding your first move is knowing who you want to be. So who you want to be is just like making cake. You first go and look at the recipe, the ingredients of what you need, and then you can bake that good cake that you need. So understanding who you want to be and how you want to make your money, it helps you to prepare the tools and the results that you need to get there. And don't focus much on time, long term or short term, but focus much on purpose and goals. That will look beyond you making money, but help solve problems of Africa, and also, I mean, create jobs. I mean, make an impact, social impact as well for our societies. So there is no time. I can't really say what is long term. So this is more on a personal level. But I always say that I saw that most of successful people, they start from the first year until 8, 10 years with no profit. They struggle, they make lots of sacrifices before they can actually make money. I was listening to Tyler Perry. I think it took him 8 years trying to stage a show, going to work, and nobody believed on him until the 8th year when he started making money. So, but get the necessary tools, have a purpose and passion for your goals and vision. And you need to know and write it down, write the vision down, write the purpose down of who you want to be and how you want to make your money. Thank you. That's the only question I saw. I don't know if there is any other question. There's another question here, Mr. Oliver. This is another question. In your opinion, how do we solve the electricity shortage problem in Africa on a large scale using renewable energy and make it accessible and affordable to the common people of Africa? So before I attended this meeting, so today I was standing like the whole day. I was in a 3-hour session with investors that are currently attending the Africa Private Summit in Ghana. It's happening now. I think it's finishing today. And there's quite a lot of investors interested in investing in Ghana that will save West Africa. So we have a couple of energy projects in Ghana that will save the rest of the entire West Africa. So you can engage us outside this platform. We also have a few projects in Zambia and Zimbabwe of renewable energy and internet satellite that we are working on. So if you guys join the group and engage us beyond this platform, you can engage us outside this platform. We can help you or link you up with some of the projects that are already happening. And of course, we need to do more in terms of renewable energy and work together to address the African challenges. Almost all the African countries are facing this challenge of energy. But a lot is happening, but we can do more by working together. Thank you. So those are the only, okay. So I'll ask Joy to share, and I'll also share the details on the chat box once I'm done, so that you guys can join the platforms. We have different groups that we have, and we can be able to provide you with more information. You can also set up appointments with us so that we can link you up with the current projects or help you if you have a project or a good idea that will help address the African challenges. Thank you. I think that's all the questions I can see on the chat box. Okay, there's another one about the influence of parents. So parents help us and shape us based on their own experience, and they try to guide us because they have an experience about life, but it may not be necessary who we want to be. So the influence of parents is good, but I always say you need to question everything. So you need to respect your parents, but you also need to know and understand who you want to be as a young person. So they are not 100% wrong when they try to advise us, but I always suggest that and try to help our young people that try to gain more information, not just from parents, but also from other. Parents can also be your professor at the university. Your football coach can also guide you in mentoring you as well. So try to gain as much information as possible. And then you as a person, based on who you want to be and how you want to make your money, you will be able to know which kind of principles that you like to follow. I believe, like myself, I believe that a good business or project is the one that is aligned to your principles and values. Thank you. Okay, I don't know if you are all answered. I've seen everything. So I think my time is expired. So thank you so much. If there are more questions, please post them on the chat box. We'll be able to address them. Also post your email addresses on the chat box so that the organizers can be able to reach out to you, share the presentation. We couldn't present the presentation here, but the organizers will be able to share the presentation with everybody that is here. But thank you so much, and I wish you a great program and a great evening further.
Thank you as well, Mr. Oliver. We are very grateful.
Thank you.